All right, good morning and welcome to yet another beautiful episode of The Green Line, where innovation meets agriculture. And every single day of the week, particularly on Fridays at 11 a.m., we get to talk about matters pertaining to agriculture and basically trying to take our minds back to the agricultural heritage of Nigeria. Yes, we have diverse conversations that we have here every single day of the week. And today, just as always, we will start off with letting you know the hands on experience of ginger farmers here in Nigeria, particularly spotlighting the jet farms here in Nigeria. Of course, they have different expressions in Kaduna, they have in Nasarawa State, and hopefully in different parts of the world eventually. But yes, we will be spotlighting that right after now. And right after that, we have a guest who is seated right here in the studio to take us through some of the intricacies of ginger farming here in Nigeria. Of course, we will be exploring export opportunities. We will be talking about the challenges that are faced by farmers who particularly cultivate ginger in Nigeria. Some of the policies that can be introduced by the government to support both the planting and the exporting of ginger to different parts of the world. Of course, you already know that it's quite a packed day here on the Green Line. Right after that, of course, where we will have our guest who would break down this conversation for us bit by bit. We will go right on to telling you some of the innovations that can be introduced into ginger farming. And right after that, we will wrap the entire segment up. But we will go on a very short break. When we get back, we'll get right into the conversation.
Ginger, one of Nigeria's most prized agricultural exports. Nigeria ranks among the top 5 producers of ginger in the world, contributing over 500,000 metric tons annually before the recent disease outbreak. The crop thrives in warm, humid climates with rich loamy soil, and the heartlands of production stretch across Kaduna, Nasarawa, Gombe, and Benue states, with Kaduna alone accounting for nearly 90% of national output. But in the last 2 years, the story has taken a different turn. A devastating fungal outbreak, known locally as ginger blight, swept through farmland, wiping out yields and cutting export earnings by over 70%. Farmers have lost an estimated 12 billion naira, while exports fell from 23.7 billion naira in 2023 to just 6.2 billion naira in 2024. Beyond disease, ginger farmers continue to face poor access to finance, limited mechanization, inadequate storage, and fluctuating global prices. Yet hope remains. With improved research, disease-resistant varieties and government support, such as the 1.6 billion naira recovery fund released in 2024, Nigeria's ginger sector can bounce back stronger. From the rolling plains of Kachia to smallholder farms across the north-central region, farmers are already rebuilding. And as the world's demand for organic and medical ginger continues to rise, Nigeria stands poised to reclaim its place, not just as leading exporter, but as a symbol of agricultural revival. And many other farms in Nigeria, just as the Jet farms, contribute to this nation's vision of returning the agricultural export of ginger to its place on the map. Because ginger isn't just a crop, it is a promise rooted in the Nigerian soil and ready to grow again.
From the soil beneath our feet to the tables across the world, agriculture is the heartbeat of Nigeria's future. Yet challenges persist: limited finance, outdated methods, policy gaps, and untapped opportunities. The Green Line is here to change that. A groundbreaking weekly television feature that connects policy with practice, farmers with markets, and innovation with impact. We dig deep into the full agricultural value chain, from land preparation to mechanization, financing, food preservation, exports, and beyond. The Green Line isn't just a show, it's a national development platform. Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. only on Rapid TV, Star Times channel 176, and online at www.rbnradiotv.com. All right, welcome back and thanks for staying with us. As always, it's always the green line right here on Rapid TV. And today we are digging into a crop that used to be one of Nigeria's greatest agricultural success stories, which is ginger. Now, at its peak, Nigeria produced over 500,000 metric tons of ginger annually, earning solid export revenues. But now, farmers are wondering, how did we lose so much ground so fast? Take an example from 2024. Nigerian ginger exports fell by 74% in just 9 months, from about 23.76 billion naira in the same period in 2023, down to 6.28 billion naira. Of course, it will call for worry by some of these farmers. And that's not just numbers. Behind that fall that has been experienced by ginger farmers is a staggering loss of over 12 billion naira to disease outbreaks. Now, I know that there have been a lot of misconceptions concerning the fall of the price and the unavailability of the ginger in the market. Now, before we got into the studio with my guest, I was basically talking about some of the misconceptions Nigerians have, talking about ginger farming, GMOs being introduced into ginger farming, which means the ginger is no longer so hot. It obviously means there's an adulterated kind of ginger, which of course might be part of the reasons that the cost of ginger we experience a loss in ginger, both export and production here in Nigeria. So for many farmers, the cost of production has soared beyond what the global market can tolerate. So prices that once hovered around 50,000 naira per bag now fetch up to 300,000 naira per bag. And today we'll speak with our expert in the studio, a practitioner, of course, and we'll be asking what's causing this crisis, particularly in ginger. How can Nigeria recover and reclaim its spot among the top ginger producers? And what innovations, policies, or supports are needed to turn things around? And on this episode, we have the honor of hosting Mr. Jerry Toby Olariwaju, and he is the team lead and founder of Jet Farms and Agro Solutions Limited. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, good day. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
All right.
Nigerians.
All right. We have talked extensively about your interest in ginger farming. Yeah. But yes, let's understand what ginger farming is like and what are the intricacies of ginger farming. Now, the idea of breaking it down into languages, terminologies that can be understood by the common man. Remember, the goal is to get more people into the farmland, right? So help us understand what ginger farming is.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to say it's indeed a very great pleasure to see that Jerry is speaking about ginger. This is a young guy that left the southwest to come to Kaduna as a young guy out of school, and 1 month after out of school and just going to explore the land of Kaduna. And ginger was actually the one of the crop they told me that I should focus on if I indeed want to do agribusiness. And I can tell you, over the years from 2017, 2018, 2019, I can tell you that ginger was doing excellently well. Ginger was where I made my millions of naira from turnovers, and I can tell you it was actually saddening to see what happened within 2022, 2023, 2024. And one of the things that really took took a number of toll for farmers like me and many other farmers I work with, because I speak for over more than 100,000, 200,000 ginger farmers currently in Kaduna, in Nasarawa, in Plateau, in Gombe, in some in Ekiti, in Ondo State, because this crisis actually happened. Let me come down to the concepts. In 2022, this thing has started happening, but a lot of people don't know. Ginger farming is actually very interesting. You farm it between the months of land preparation start from March, April, then planting start around April, May to around October, November, harvest starting. And one of the things that's actually been interesting is that ginger farming is actually, it's stressful, but I can tell you that it's actually very, very profitable. Farming a ginger, I saw it on your data, maybe I need to just give a little hint about it. Ginger was as low for a fresh ginger bag. Ginger was as low as 3,000, 2,000 naira. Currently, as I speak with you, a fresh ginger bag, as the last year when our EOP was 1 million naira
per bag.
Per bag. The same bag I bought 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 went to 1 million naira per bag. Yes, the government came in at one point in time, and let me even give you gist. As at 2018, when I started ginger farming, I be ginger business, I bought a dry splitted bag of a grade A, let me say raw, for close to 7,000, 8,000 naira. And I can tell you, as I speak with you currently now, maybe the price has dropped because of what is happening in the space and because it's harvest season. As at August, when I went to get it, a bag of ginger was close to 1.2 million naira.
A bag of ginger?
Yes, a bag of ginger was close to 1.2 million naira. So it was actually very crazy for farmer to even farm. A farmer that you see the live video, and the farmer, one of my farmers, that is actually one of the biggest farmer I had, that was farming up to 400 bags in a year in his space, could not farm 2 bags of ginger this year, 2025. So it's actually very messy. And one of the things that caused this thing was actually, number one, there was actually a blight. So the blight came in, started crawling in, but people did not really notice. People thought it was something that will happen to go. But it came at the point of the beginning. So when you farmed till around June, started showing up in June 2023, seriously, and it took away all the crops. So when your leaf is just turning yellow and you just go and check the tuber under, is gone, is melt, is turned to this thing. Have you seen a spoitium? The way a spoitium, that's how you just check it, and before you know, you just remove it. You've not even seen anything, and it made everything so disastrous for the farmer. So it's actually one of the critical situations, and I'm happy going to discussing here about the policies. I've written a letter to the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. He's actually my daddy. I call him my daddy. And he has listened. I know the government did something around that in 2023 also, when there was this issue. There was an emergency funding. I think that was 1.something billion naira to the farmers, which was literally not enough. And what they did was just to basically tell the farmer, go and farm other crop. Don't farm ginger for now. Go and farm other crop, because we are still finding solution. With certain institutions that have been going back and forth, doing this and that, but they have not really gotten the situation. Well, are we out of the situation? No, we're not yet out of the situation. And talking about Nigeria becoming a top player, Nigeria, I'm going to give you data. Nigeria was one of the top 5, not even top 10. I can even say top 3.
Exporters of ginger.
Producers, exporters of ginger, because Nigerian ginger, these are it is. China, because of their interest in investment in agriculture, India, their interest and investment in agriculture, and their population. So I would say they are the biggest producers of ginger. But where all these countries, China and India, buys their ginger from is Nigeria.
Okay, so that will even take me to the next question, because when there was that scarcity of ginger, I remember telling you just before the show that, I went to some place to get ginger, and I was told that it's ginseng. And I'm like, what is ginseng? Is it not? They all looked almost the same, right? And one of the major things I was said at that point where I went to get the ginger was, the exporters have taken all of the ginger out of Nigeria. The Chinese government have come and they have bought all the ginger in the market, and that's why we experienced some scarcity. And so at that point, getting 500 naira worth of ginger was almost impossible. So do you think at any point the export of that ginger was part of the reason we experienced scarcity in Nigeria?
Yeah, I will agree, because there are data to show about that. So the fact is, Nigeria was producing more than 500,000 metric tons of ginger at a point in time. We increased to over 700 in 2023. In 2021, 2022, it was actually increased because people actually demanded more ginger after post-COVID. So we produced more. And now we had the blight. More than more than 90%. It was almost 90% of the farmers losing their crop, losing their harvest. And the little ones, that when we say 90% of 500,000, that means we had less than 10%. That means we were struggling with just 50,000 metric tons. And that same 50,000 metric tons will be what we will still use back for seed. It's still what we use for local consumption. Now, some big guys that normally buy up to 100 metric tons, one person can buy up to 1,000, 100,000 metric tons. Now come and say, it is 50,000 naira. So the demand or supply mathematics comes in. You want to buy 100, I have only 50,000 here. And out of that 50,000, they still need for seed, they still need for this thing. So you come now, I come, I see the price of this thing. You are demanding it. You say, I'm going to pay 100,000. You come and auction it. I'll pay 500,000. So as a farmer, that's how the price started going up. Farmers started putting price. I'm not selling my own today. A farmer kept his own and said, no, I want to sell it when ginger per bag is 5 million naira. I'm telling you. If farmer kept it, I remember telling me that, Jerry, I won't sell my ginger to you. I'm waiting. Ginger, the way ginger I'm looking at, can enter 5 million naira per bag.
The price of the fresh ginger and the dry ginger, is it the same market value?
It's not the same market value.
Which is higher?
The dry.
The dry is higher.
So let me tell you, 3 bags of fresh gives you 1 bag of dry ginger. Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah, 3 bags of fresh ginger or 60 kg. That's almost 60. That's 60 times 3. That's 180. Gives you a 50 kg bag of dry,
Dry
low moisture ginger.
ginger.
So one of the things, as I was saying, I said the exporters, the Chinese, they really came to open it up. So we are not wise as Nigerians, and that's one of the things I'm talking about policy. We're not wise as Nigerian farmers. We're not. I would like to say we were not paying attention as the Nigerian government to see that when we notice that issue, we should stop exportation of ginger. So that we can actually preserve the little seed, because currently now farmers don't even have a seed to plant. Currently, as I speak with you, we tell them now, oh, maybe the little people that were struggle to do this year, because if you farm a bag of ginger, you can get at least 5 or 6 bags of ginger harvest, because it's actually a very good multiplier. So currently now, the government did not do that. And one of the things I actually wrote as a letter, which we're going to discuss in policy, is where I wrote to the minister, and I appealed to the minister that for what you did for shea butter, sir, can we do for ginger?
Same thing for ginger.
Can we stop ginger exportation for the next 2 years? Can we now invest into seed multiplication? That's policy. Can we now invest into seed multiplication? Work in partnership with the private sectors. People like Jet Farm, people like Apex, people like Tribe Agri, people around that space that are farming ginger. Can we work with them? Can we partner with them and say, let's do seed multiplication bank? When we do it, then government will take this seed and then carry the seed and distribute as input to farmers.
So what will happen to the farmers at the time when they stop the export?
So the fact is that it's actually very good for us. We might have low income as a country, we might have low income as farmers, but the fact is that it's for the future, because currently now, if you keep on, we are selling our seed because we need money now. We are hungry now. A farmer that I told my farmer that sold this thing, his 3 children are in university as we speak right now. If the school fees come next by this end of this thing, what will happen? He will sell it, and we now be looking for seed. We'll be handicapped. But before, when he could pay conveniently with the seed, he still has more something to plant. He still has something to sell and everything. So the fact is that the country economy is actually not interesting as at this moment. Things are currently tough. Everybody knows about that. So if the country can actually look at it and saying, okay, ginger is not corn. Ginger is not beans. Ginger is actually 70 or 80% of ginger is actually exported. So the fact is that, can we do a 60 to 70%? Can we reduce the exportation maybe by 90%? Or we should even put a temporary ban and say, for the next one season, that's for 2026 season, can we stop exportation till 20? Let us recover this 1 year round. When we finish and we recover, we will actually make back our seed, and after that we can now start exporting. We now have enough seed to actually sell. And we understand research with partnership with research institution and with partnership with the government agency, with the private sector. I told you, the ginger sector will get revived. The government has lost so much money because ginger was the third export generating non-oil product, from cocoa, from sesame to cashew. I think it was maybe 4. It and the cashew and ginger actually share ties. So it's actually one of the top 3 exports generating commodity to Nigeria. So it's actually a very good thing for the government to look at it.
All right. So the thing here is, most of these things they sound very good and they look very good on paper, because you can't tell, you use
it's beyond paper. For me, I think it's beyond paper,
because you cannot tell a farmer that is hungry not to sell his farm and wait for the entire season. And you know, one of the major problems we have here in Nigeria is palliative measures, because if you are telling a farmer we need to recover our seedlings, so we have lost a lot through export, and that's on us because we were not paying attention at the time when these people, they saw before us, so they kept collecting what we had. And because we were so keen on having more money, we kept giving what we had, forgetting about what the future is about. So we cannot now say that these farmers should wait till the next planting season. What happens to the farmer at that time? What palliative measures do you think that because while we are talking the problems, we also need to talk the solutions. If you're asking the farmers to hold on selling their ginger bags and what have you, what palliative measures can the government put in place to ensure that these ginger farmers don't suffer the loss of not engaging in any export or transactional activity within this cycle before they get onto the next?
So quick one, I will just tell you, the government actually did something around that, but they did this side of what you're talking about. They did not do the side of what I'm talking about. So the side they did was actually to see that, we gave out inputs, take inputs, go and produce rice, go and produce maize, to at least to get something to eat. But what I'm trying to say is that beyond the palliative, now they are finished palliative, the ginger farmers are still suffering.
Absolutely.
So the fact is that, yes, you can now blend the two of them with my proposition. The proposition I've made is that, sir, can we set up a committee? Not even just a committee. I really don't like committee, because committees you have to,
dead end.
It's just dead end. Can we set up a kind of initiative, a project, and say this project, go ahead, manage this process with partnership with development partners, with partnership with private sector, and say a project, go and set up seed bank. While you are setting up the seed bank, the NADF is also giving a fund. You say, go and support these same farmers with inputs, so that these guys will actually farm rice as they are farming ginger.
Okay.
As we are trying to recover from ginger, they are making money from selling rice, they are making money from selling corn. They are making money from selling beans. Okay. These guys are actually farm beans, they farm rice, they farm corn. So why don't they come get this process, that this project we are doing, but supporting them with this initiative? And I think it's actually a good one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, absolutely. Now let's talk about some of the challenges that these farmers face. Because much more than the entire export and the seedlings out, and us needing to resuscitate ourselves, especially when it comes to ginger production, what are some of the challenges within the farmland that some of these farmers experience?
Yeah, so one of the things I think we have actually faced for a number of years, and I think is actually our product not being, yes, we are exporting.
Okay.
But the reason that, are we making money from these exports? Now, the farmers actually don't make money from these exports. Why? Because maybe the Chinese are buying it and they go and brand it in their name, and people in Europe, they make more money. But I can tell you, we need to reduce our pesticides. There need to be a reduction in pesticides, because which the farmer lacks enough knowledge about it. So there need to be a lot of proper educations about organic planting of ginger, which we will make more than 10 times the money we are making right now. Because we will have opportunities to get certification of this thing and get our product to Europe, where you make more money from it. Another challenge I think around this thing, because I'm actually working on with somebody on a research, I'm actually collaborating on that research to actually see how we can reduce pesticide on ginger, turmeric, and other spices. Secondly, I think one of the challenges is finance. Yes, I know that every farmer will also mention finance, but I can tell you the government is actually doing a lot of things within the BOA, within the NADF and everything, financing the space. But one thing is that these farmers, I think we need to appeal to the government. They say there's a 250 billion that actually come out right now.
I think it was last month.
Yeah, we saw this signature. There's a money from Afri-Exim Bank to BOA. Please, we are asking as farmers,
release the money.
We want to come and approach and come and get this money. Yes, the MD is actually a very good friend of mine. He's one of my big brothers, and I can tell you, I believe that very soon farmers will be able to approach this thing. Another thing I can think that the farmers are actually facing is actually the aspect of post-harvest loss. Okay. Yes, when you farm ginger, you don't know where to keep your seed the right way. We are currently looking for innovation. We are trying to employ the private sectors there, even the research institution. Please let us look for a better way, a scalable or a small way of handling post-harvest loss within the ginger space. Okay. Because that's another challenge in this thing. And I think finally, when you talk about farming, you guys forget about processing. It's all there.
I was even going to talk about that now, because if we are looking at diversifying the ginger market, then we must also look at hammering on processing.
Very important.
So what aspects of processing do you think that ginger can, ginger production does not just die in the farm and eating the raw ginger, but processing it into other...
And again, we actually export a lot of our fresh ginger, and this raw ginger, we should stop it. And I'm challenging farmers, please, even the government should support it. I, as a person, we have, as Jet Farms, we have another business called the Demore Food and Spice. Demore Food and Spice is the processing arm of Jet Farms. And I can tell you that I went into processing because I know there's more money there, there's income generation there. And where the story came out, and I'll share it in quick line, I learned it from a Arab man. I asked him one day, he was buying our ginger, and I asked him, what do you use our ginger? He said all he does is to grind it and put it in package and spice it. I said, that's all you do. And he said, you come and export it, and we buy it in Sahad store, we buy it in ShopRite, you go. I said, that's what you do. He said, yes, I have about more than 100 staff. I said, oh, so when I export my ginger, I'm exporting my job. So since that, I came back without knowledge to say, yes, I'm going to set up the factory. And fortunately enough for me, I can tell you, yes, I started very small, I grew it. And for the Minister of Agriculture to actually come to my site and say, oh, Jerry, I see the work you're doing. We're going to support you. We're going to actually encourage. So yes, it's an enabling environment, and I appreciate the minister for that. But one thing also we need more as as a nation is to see how we can invest more into small and modular this thing. Ginger has a lot of, from ginger oil to ginger, a number of things. All your cosmetic, all your drugs you use as a ginger this thing. The sweats, your toothpaste, everything has something ginger in it. So when you see something hot and everything, know that there's your tomato paste, a number of things, as your spices, your sneezing has ginger in it. So it's actually very important to see that government invest into small scale modular processing value chain of the ginger value chain. I think it will actually be important. We are appealing to the government, please look at us and actually invest into the small scale processing value chain of ginger, from the oil to the powder, from the powder to the capsule, from the capsule to the cosmetic and everything.
All right. Apparently, Mr. Jerry came to beg the government today
yes.
on Rapid. But yes, thank you so much for that. It's very short but enlightening conversation we've had, particularly about ginger. But just to wrap up, can you tell us quickly at your fingertips, right? What other things can the government do to boost ginger farming in Nigeria and to support ginger farming, basically?
Yeah, two things. Okay. Please, I've listed it out there. Let us create a national ginger policy, which we don't have. Please, let's create a national ginger policy. Number two, please create a fund from NADF. Please, can we get a separate special fund on ginger production and processing?
All right. Thank you so much. We have there Mr. Jerry Toby Olarewaju, and he is the team lead and founder of Jet Farms and Agro Solutions. Thank you so much again for joining us here on the show.
Thank you very much, Nigerians.
All right. As always, you know that, of course, on Green Line, we try to simplify some of these things and make sure that it is easy to understand for everyone who wants to engage in ginger farming or any one of the topics that has been discussed here on the Green Line. All right, this brings us to the very end of the Green Line this Friday morning. Of course, you know that you can rewatch all our episodes on YouTube at Official Rapid TV. And of course, you can join all of our programs while they air on our website at www.rbnradiotv.com. Until next Friday, when we are talking about yet another agriculture innovation policy or crop, my name is Martha Alu. See you next Friday.